sunrise into my eyes. Hey, I can't realize, say she don't just me. Na 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 na. Excuse me, lady, can I get to know you? I like you plenty.
Morning. Good morning, sisters. Good morning, brothers. This is your sister Amma, and it's really nice that you've come to watch this one. I want to make this one particular one very personal, very useful. No, we are not discussing anybody else. I am talking about you. Today's video is on signs of dissatisfaction, signs of unhappiness, early signs of disaffection, early signs of unhappiness. I want you to know yourself. I want you to read these signs, and when we finish, I will help you to recognize these signs in other people. But today, I want to start from yourself. So you will find me, this particular video, and the rest of them would operate on the Transformations Inc. agenda. But it's Amma Manson on all social media handles. Do follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You will find this and many other videos to watch. Forgive my voice because quite early on in the morning, this is the timbre I get. It's a bit deep. But I suppose it's me, and I'm a bit deep. So let's talk. I asked a loved one of mine, do you know how to read me? Do you really know the difference between my nonsense and the reality of where I am at any point in time T? So it brought me to talk to a few of my buddies, my few friends. I asked them the same question. Do you even know when you are becoming unhappy? And they all like, no. We always know when we are unhappy. But I don't want you to get to the unhappiness point before you discover it, because usually when you discover you are unhappy, it becomes a job to undo what has already been done. And it's very difficult to achieve. I want you to spot when you are en route to unhappiness, so that you can stop the process, you can change direction, and don't get there in the first place. All right? I would rather you did not become unhappy. So let's talk. When you begin to get that itch that something is missing, naturally, you want to override and you want to compensate. So it's the compensation techniques which will help you work out that there is a deficit beginning. For women like me, aesthetics are not important. I really don't care. I don't. Occasionally, I will style my hair, I will put on a lip gloss, or whatever, but it's occasional. But anytime I discover that it's become regular, that I need to put on the cloak before I step out, I know that there is something hiding there which I am covering, something I am hiding. I need to pause, reflect, and find what that is at that time. The unnecessary need to look polished on the outside. That is so not me on an ordinary day. So when it begins to become regular, I have to stop myself. And if it's not, like recently, I've done my hair. My lipstick is about to expire, and I refuse to let it expire without use. So I am definitely using lipstick. But those ones are calculated. So you'll find me for the next month or two use that lipstick until I'm satisfied that I've got my worth out of it. That is a calculation. That's not what I'm referencing. But there are times when subconsciously, without me even realizing, I get up and I need to put on whatever I need to. And when I've done that for an extended period of time, I know that I am hiding a deficit somewhere that needs to make up, to cover up, to mask something. Tells me that something is not quite right, something is not quite where it should be. The need to shop. Again, I am not a shopaholic in any way. I'm usually satisfied with what I have. I don't have a lot of things by my choosing, and ordinarily absolutely fine. But then I have some episodes, where I need to go to the shops. I need to hit the shops. And I find myself buying the most ridiculous things that I don't want. I've actually managed to find myself in shops sometimes and bought very high heels that I can barely walk in. I have to pause after a while and ask myself, kid, what's that all about? What were those shoes for? Because I want to feel sexy. Sis, shoes don't make you sexy. Shoes don't. They just make your feet uncomfortable. Yes, you hang high in the air and you look ridiculous whilst you are at it. It's your poise. It's the way you carry yourself which makes you feel that. So it's not the shoe, it's the girl. And then I discover actually the problem is that I've not taken time to feel good in a while. And because I have not taken care of that need, and I am en route towards a point where my self-image becomes an issue, is why I want to buy high heels. The high heels is a symptom. There is actually a cause, and it's those causes you need to identify and tackle in order to stop the process. Otherwise, you are heading towards a way. You go in a particular place none of us wants to find ourselves in. Not at all. Excessive makeup, wanting to buy, becoming the shopaholic. When I have a gap in my life, I want to fill it. And one of the things that I fill it with is buying things. I shop. And normally when I buy in that episode, what I buy is actually ridiculous things, unnecessary things, unwanted things. I probably will never use those items because they were never bought for purpose. Another thing I find myself doing is becoming louder. There is a void. The void calls me to stop and think. My brain doesn't want to stop and think because stopping to think might find uncomfortable things, unpleasant things. So the show is turned on. The performance becomes even more flamboyant. I don't stop laughing. I don't stop giggling. I don't stop doing. I don't stop. Full stop. And those of you who know me very well, when you see episodes like that, those who are very near and dear would be on the phone straight away, will call me up straight away because they know that this is how I mask my uncertainties, my unhappiness. For those of you who have no knowledge of the person within, this confirms to you that I am very happy. I am giggling. I am the life and soul of a party. I am living it big. I am crazy. My utterances become even more. Normally, I am up here in your face anyway. But in those episodes, I am higher up in your face. My comments are more blasé. They are bold. They are daring. It tells you I don't fear anything. In fact, I don't fear anything. But usually, I don't need to express. I don't need to exert that until something makes it necessary for me to exert. And whenever I find myself having to exert myself, having to prove a point, having to confirm my happiness, when I happen to need to validate where I am, my comfort in where I am, I realize actually there is something there that I need to interrogate. There's something not quite where I want it to be. Because when things are where they are supposed to be, there is no need to perform. There is no need to confirm. There is absolutely no need to play the flamboyant character. I always say to people, I am actually born and bred an introvert. I am actually raised by an introvert. My mom is the greatest introvert. And in my personality, there are two split sides. My father, the extrovert, and I dare say my father was a bit like me. There was the extrovert which was created, the well-poised, well-developed, well-oiled extrovert, and hiding somewhere behind that extrovert is the soft-spirited me. This soft-spirited me, the real original me, is actually shy. The real original me does not want to be in the middle of a crowd. The real me observes people from a distance And you guys see that all the time when you interact with me. In a new group, I am always the one with the funny smile on my face just watching. Usually when I go to new places, I don't say much. I just observe and I smile. And once I've read a situation quite accurately and I've worked out where I need to be, there are times when you need to bulldoze and just demolish in order to exert, and that's exactly what I would do. But most people don't realize that the bulldozing is a response. The bulldozing, it's not a performance per se because it's not fake. It's as real as. But the bulldozing is a calculated response. You look at a situation, you realize the only way to handle this situation is to bulldoze and demolish. And once that decision is made, once the situation is assessed and bulldozing is what is required, this kid has no problem bulldozing. No, I don't bat an eyelid when I am bulldozing because it's not fake, it is a response. But that is not necessarily my only nature. That is not necessarily my preferred nature, if it makes any sense. My preferred nature is to be in the periphery. My preferred nature is to observe. My preferred nature is to be close enough to the action to see, so I don't miss out. I don't necessarily want to be in the middle of it. But if the situation requires that I stand in the middle of it and I rock the stage, then that's absolutely fine. That's what I do. But for me, how I work out if there's a deficit is when that performance becomes the norm. When I am not comfortable staying on the periphery, when I am in a hurry to get the process of evaluation done so I can bulldoze, then I know that I am dissatisfied somewhat. Then I know that I have an itch somewhere. Then I know something is not quite right with me, because ordinarily I will observe for a long time. Even when that decision to bulldoze has been made, it will be done very calculatedly and it will be executed slowly and carefully. Whenever I find that I am in a hurry for that process to complete, I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to get in. I'm drawing blood and I'm calling for that persona. I know that there is a deficit hiding somewhere. There is a discomfort somewhere. There is something that makes it necessary for me to call on this alter ego. And that something is always a deficit in my original ego. When somebody has disregarded my original ego somewhat, when somebody doesn't recognize the value of my original ego, when somebody belittles my ability to do something, when somebody challenges and gets to me, it's the only time I actually feel the need to accelerate this progress and to do so. When I find myself laughing a little bit louder than I typically do, I know something is not funny somewhere. If I feel the need to laugh longer than I usually do, then there's a reason why I feel that performance of laughter is necessary. And it's up to me to find what that deficit is and tackle it from source. Otherwise, the laughter gets louder. The laughter gets longer. The laughter is no longer enough. So we mount the stage. So we command the stage. So we wow the audience and everybody is watching in awe. But there is still not satisfaction. That is when I know. That is when I know I've got to do something about this one. And usually, for those of you who know me well, the only solution to this is to recoil, introspect, and go find what the original problem was. To tackle whatever that issue is head on. Deal with it so that there are no remnants after that one. And after that, I am actually able to return to this with a smile on my face and watch, bemused, entertained by it all. I am a very aggressive person when I am agitated. Whenever I find that need to be the aggressor, I know that I am agitated by something. The happy me really doesn't care because your opinions don't count that much. They really don't. I really don't give a toss ordinarily. But anytime you say something and my sharp tongue is so quick to respond, I know it has nothing to do with what you just said. What you just said has hit a raw nerve. That nerve was raw before you spoke. What you did has inflicted a wound somewhere. It has just rekindled something, but that existed before your action. My aggressive response again helps me work out that something is not quite right with me emotionally. Something is not quite right with me mentally. When you get to me, then I know that I am raw somewhere. Because when I'm not exposed, you don't get to me. You don't get to me whatsoever. What I'm doing here is sharing my very raw assessments of how I pick up my deficits, how I know that I am on a journey towards the wrong place, and what I do to fix it. Remember, as I always say, I can only speak from my experience and I can only use my circumstances as a lens. I always have to declare my filters and my biases, so you take what I say with a pinch of salt. This is me, and I can only use me as an example in the hope that I am modeling what I want you to also do. Are you really happy is my question. No, don't give me the performance answer. Give me the genuine, sincere answer. Are you really happy? How do you know? Or is your outer performance ego fooling even you? Some of us get fooled ourselves. We don't stop to look at the silent other. We don't stop enough to find when things are going wrong. We begin to get addicted to the performance ego because it is very addictive. It is very popular. It masks all your problems and people don't even see there's an issue. And usually, when people don't see an issue and you don't see an issue, over time, you believe that nonsense too. But this morning, I'm actually asking you, have you actually looked behind your mask? Is everything in place behind your mask? Sometimes you go to a masquerade party, your makeup is on point, you are beautiful behind the mask, and it's just a requirement, part of the regalia, part of the costume to put on a mask with a smile on your face. You are howling behind the mask. The mask is absolutely fine at that time. The mask is an accessory. No problem with a mask as an accessory. The problem is when a mask is a hiding tool. When behind the smile is a grimace, something needs to be done, because long term it will ruin your psyche. It will affect you mentally. It will affect all dimensions of your life because it will alter your personality and you will not be comfortable with that. Are you really sincerely happy? Can you tell the difference between when the mask is in place and when you are genuinely, sincerely comfortable? For me, it is one of the things that allows me to pick this up is that smile. Before the smile actually comes on my face, the smile is in my mind. Smile is there in my head, even when I have a strange face. Because I'm a stage performer, I'm a teacher. I am somebody who presents. I am somebody who brings things to character. I am able to override what happens internally and I'm able to generate externally a completely different experience. But in my head, even before I've lost my temper with a class, if I am silently laughing before I outwardly perform annoyance, then I know I'm good. Last week, I staged a workout in class. I emailed the head before I staged it. I said to the head that this class is getting out of hand. They are irritating me. They are not concentrating. So I am going to lose my temper and I am going to walk out, storm out of the class. And when I do, can you please come have a conversation with them about it? It was a stage performance. None of the children will suspect what I am saying to you because I was fuming behind my desk. I was so angry, I was almost shaking. But I was laughing, I was howling behind the mask because it was a performance. And as long as the performance was just that, an external performance, that was not an issue. So I picked my stuff and I slowly stormed out of the classroom. Not real. Did not bother me, did not concern me because mentally I had already seen my smile in place. I was comfortable. I had orchestrated it. This is just me determining outcomes on the outside, and that's fine. But the day a class gets to me, when I am sincerely fuming, when I'm shaking because children have irritated me, it has nothing to do with the children. It usually has something else to do with other avenues of my life where I have not taken care of business. When I lose my temper with my children, spectacularly, and I do very dramatic loss of temper too. And it's part of a calculated attempt to correct a behavior. It's part of a calculated attempt to reinforce an expectation or to demand a change. No problem. That's the outward expression, calculation in place. But that day, when I spectacularly lose it with the kids and the smile is not behind the mask, you realize that there's a problem. There is a problem. You realize that there is a deficit. Sure, it's a deficit. And it often has nothing to do with what the kid has just presented right now. It is usually caused by something else which has caused dissatisfaction, disaffection way before, which has not been dealt with. Today, I want you to pick up your own unhappiness. I want you to pick up your own deficits. I want you to know when your demons are rising, and I want you to squash those demons very early on before they grow and become unmanageable. Do you know the signs that your own body gives you when you are unhappy about something? Do you tell your own disaffection? When I'm disaffected, I cannot concentrate. Things that need to be done, I will procrastinate about for quite a while. I am not a procrastinator at all. I don't procrastinate. So whenever I find myself procrastinating, I know that there is a deficit somewhere. I am one who does things and does them thoroughly. But if I find myself stressing, once I've done something and it is thoroughly done, I know that it's good enough. And I'm able to put the control in to stop. When I find myself fretting over things that I know are done right, tells me there's an issue. When I start wiping what does not need to be wiped. When I start toing and froing about something. No, I don't to and fro. I am decisive and I act. When I dilly-dally into different things but don't finish anything off, then I know my demons are waking. My demons are waking. The other one is food. Food is one of the things that tell me that it's not right. Whenever there is a gap in my life, I want to eat that gap full. Eat things that I don't ordinarily even enjoy. Eat large amounts of the things that I enjoy. Cannot seem to put the spoon down for any reason. Not because my belly is empty, it's because somewhat the food wants to fill a void and the void has nothing to do with food. So you eat more and the void becomes bigger and you look ridiculous. And you begin to put on weight and then you hate what you look like. So you eat some more. Watch food. It's a great indicator that things are not right. A lot of you have that relationship with food. Or you stop eating completely. You lose appetite. You have no interest. You should have a healthy relationship with food. You should eat enough of food so that you are satisfied, but you should not go beyond that point, because normally that is a switch and it should go off. Enough when things are right. When things are not right, the enough button goes. Either you don't eat enough of it or you go way past your enough point. Watch how you eat. Watch your obsessive eating patterns. Watch how you eat specific things unnecessarily, especially with snacking for me. Whenever I find myself snacking unnecessarily, when my mouth just doesn't have control, I know that it is eating to fill a void. It makes sense for me to find that void. It makes sense for me to stop, put the brakes in, find a corner, remove my mask and look inside of me and see the state in which my inner me is. And usually I find her battered. I find her bruised. I find her wounded. I find her struggling. It becomes my job to tend to her, to mend her, to sort her needs out, to care for her, and to repair this phenomenal inner me which controls all the outside. So today, I am talking to you. I am asking you to reflect on you. I am asking you to look behind your own mask. I'm asking you to look deep, deep inside and ask yourself, girl, boy, are you happy? How do you know that you are genuinely happy? Can you tell the difference between that and when you are faking it till you make it? Because that's what most of us do. Fake it and hope to make it. No need, no need. Faking it till you make it makes you have serious battle scars. And it's the reason why a lot of us have become depressed. It's a reason why a lot of us have got mental illnesses, because we have not been honest with ourselves at the right time. And we have not fixed issues before they became huge problems. Pause right here and let's ponder. Do you know when you are happy? How do you know that convincingly? Can you tell when you are beginning to become unhappy? Do you know how to fix it? My name is Amma. It's my job to bring big elephants to the room for discussion. So today, I've dragged you and your inner you to the table for discussion. Is it comfortable? No, it's not. Is it pleasant? No, it's not. But it's a very necessary exercise in the maintenance of your health and well-being, especially your mental health and well-being. When I finish this in a while, we would discuss how to spot the excellent performers like me. Some of them I have shared in this video because I've been doing simple introspections, but I want to show you the things that you should focus on. Not what a person says, but what a person does. Not what comes out of a person's mouth, but to look in a person's eyes and to see a disconnect when it exists, so that you might be able to help your friends, your loved ones who are spiraling out of control way before they do, so that you can help them recognize it and put brakes in before the journey is complete. It's Amma Manson on all social media handles. Do follow me, Transformation Inc., for my mind augmentation project, and I hope to catch you soon. Thanks for watching.